Hello, everybody. I am Nina Soden, urban fantasy author of the Blood Angel series, the Sector C series, and The Beast Within, an interactive novel. And today, for the second time on my show, we have Kassandra Flamouri. She is a music degree. She has a music degree from Sonderman Conservatory of Gettysburg College, which she uses to moonlight, which I find fascinating, as a folk musician, while juggling writing and teaching and earning a second degree. She is a busy, busy lady. Her past works include The Fruit of Our Thorns, a collection, and The Roots of Our Magic, 6 stories inspired by the folklore of Greece, which is also a bilingual collection. Both are available on Amazon. And her recent debut novel, which was The Chalice and the Crown, which we spoke about the last time we talked, that is also available online at most online retailers. So more information about her past works and what she has coming up can be found on her website at www.flamourifiction.com. But today we have a special announcement. Her new book is coming out. I can't say it's going to be anytime soon. It is August 2022. So next year, 2022. My God, that is a long time away. But it just means you have more time to get excited for it. So that is what we're here to talk about today. So Kassandra, tell us the title of your newest book and just a little bit about it.
So the book is called Magissa. I imagine most readers are going to see the title and think Magissa. I'm okay with that, but I can't say it that way myself because I gotta stay true to the roots. In Greek, it is pronounced Magissa. It's the Greek word for witch. Although not really witch as we think of witches. It's the traditional role. No, it's really more like wisewoman. The traditional, healer in the village might also peddle some love charms, read fortunes, that kind of thing. But the, traditional role really was more like healer, mind and body. A lot of them, kind of incorporated both the traditional magic of Greece and, superstitions and stuff like that, but also Christianity was very much tied in with it too. Like a lot of the charms and stuff would be kind of flavored by Christianity, angels, demons, that kind of thing. People would go to the village Magissa for help with their love life, help with their personal troubles. Depending on the Magissa, they might also go and ask for help dealing with a romantic rival or birth control, stuff like that. And so for that reason, they were sort of tolerated, but also feared, persecuted. Kind of depends on, from what I understand, it kind of depended on who your neighbors were, how much they liked you, and whether there was a particularly vindictive priest in the area. And, kind of that determined what you could get away with.
So what drew you to this subject?
Well, as I think we discussed last time, my background is Greek. And the original story idea came out of my grandmother's story growing up. She lived in a small village in the north of Greece, and she got married during World War II, and she was a runner for messages to the rebels in the mountains, because her village was occupied by Germans. And she would take messages to the rebels, and they'd have to bury their food in the garden because the Germans would come in and take everything, so they had to hide their food. And she'd tell all these stories about little babies that were dying because their mothers couldn't produce enough milk because they were starving themselves, and her sister was beaten nearly to death by German soldiers wanting to know where her husband was, and left her for dead in a cow byre, and horrible stories. And And so the original idea for this story was that I wrote it's a story that appears in the Roots of Our Magic. It's called The Flower of Kassandra, which is based on the sort of jointly on my grandmother's stories and the Massacre of Vistromo. But then I was thinking about trying to turn it into a novel length work, and trying to think about, you know, what the best angle was, and kind of thinking like, well, what is it do I really want to do with a novel length work? And for me, you know, historical fiction just isn't my wheelhouse, and also it's just, you know, a little heavy, a little kind of close to home, and I didn't think I wanted to dwell on it for the amount of time and gory detail that it would take for a full novel. But I did still want to stick with the traditional magic part. And so I started with that nugget, just, you know, how could I bring that out? How would that fit into a YA plot? You know, what can I bring as an author? Who would my character be? And, you know, just for me, trying to write from like an authentic place, you know, my character turned into a Greek American teenager who goes back to Greece after living in America for the bulk of her life, and kind of encountering the culture shock of like, this is supposed to be my homeland, this is supposed to be my home, but I feel like a stranger here. And also I have this magic that kind of makes me a freak and a target.
Okay. So tell us, do you have a copy of the blurb? Can you read that for us?
Yes.
The back blurb says so much.
I'm glad that you're letting me read it, because I can't like deliver it off the top of my head.
No, please read it for us.
Okay. So, Chrysa Markou has known for years that her parents left their home in Greece for her sake. She resolved long ago to make them proud. She would win every race, ace every test, get into a top college, and become a doctor. But when her parents die, she finds all her carefully laid plans in disarray. Seeking an escape and a fresh start, Chrysa returns to her native village in the mountains of Greece. But instead of sanctuary, she finds her a hotbed of vicious gossip, family drama, and a magical heritage that could seriously derail the future her parents wanted for her. New to magic and unsure she even wants it, Chrysa scrambles to master her power and learn the skills of a witch and wisewoman, a Magissa. Her allies are few but powerful. Her sorceress grandmother, a handsome, jaded Seer, a kindly neraida descended from ancient nymphs, and a pair of burly guard dogs with sharp teeth and hearts of gold. Together, they must protect the village from an onslaught of dark creatures unleashed by the witch who killed Chrysa's parents. Skia is ancient, ruthless, powerful, a monster spoken of only in whispers, and she's coming for Chrysa. As the noose of Skia's malice draws tighter, Chrysa must decide what she is willing to sacrifice to win, and if she can live with the price of her victory.
Okay, so how much of you is in Chrysa?
I think there's more of my sister in Chrysa. Okay. You know, I think some of the superficial details apply, but again, apply probably equally well to Sophie, my sister. You know, she's very driven academically, feels the weight of her parents' expectations, which, I mean, I certainly did. And I think is probably the case for many children of immigrants. You know, actually probably the thing that most differentiates or points to me in Chrysa rather than Sophie is she's very like, people, like awkward, like awkward socially. And, like parties, like really, do I have to? Okay. Whereas, you know, Sophie is much more outgoing. She's a social butterfly. But in terms of spirit, I think Chrysa is very much inspired by my little sister. She has a lot of that same like direct, kind of aggressive, like, no, I'm not just going to ignore this because it's going to make things more comfortable for you. Like, no, go on, tell me. And like kind of pushes people and puts them on the spot and like stands up to her for herself and isn't afraid to like get in people's faces.
So has she read the book?
Sophie, yeah.
And
Yeah,
did she
she's,
recognize herself in her?
I don't know. I've never actually asked her. I guess I should now.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know if she sees herself
Yeah.
in the character and what she thought of that. Did she enjoy it?
Yeah, she's been a great advocate for the book. We had she reads pretty much all of my stuff and has ever since we were in high school and I was writing like fan fictions, and
Yep.
she'd come into my room and look at me like, what have you written anything? Like, why aren't you writing? Give me.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah,
Family can
no,
be a huge support or the opposite.
oh
So it's
yeah,
good that she
yeah.
is.
People, if you read like writing, editing advice online and stuff, they say don't rely on your family to give you honest feedback
Right.
because like they're just gonna say it's great and not want to hurt your feelings. Like they've never met my family. Sophie is not afraid
To tell you
what she
something's
really
crap,
thinks.
huh? Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean we had our ups and downs with that. Sometimes it's really helpful, and sometimes it's like hold your horses, girlfriend. Like this is my story. But overall, it's invaluable.
Very cool. Now, you traditionally published this one. So who is your publisher?
Called Parliament House Press. I'm new to them. This is my first time publishing with a publisher. So far, the experience has been great. They've been really great about bringing my vision to life as far as the story itself goes, and have been really willing to listen to my concerns and work with me on things. It is a little different though, and like this is probably a good thing that they're in control and not me, because like you said, August 2022, it feels so far away.
Yeah.
But like we also said, it gives us plenty of time to prepare and market and do a really good job of it, which I think is really important, because I know this about myself. I have a tendency to want to just like go full steam ahead and do things now just so I can stop thinking about them.
Yeah. Oh, I understand how that goes. So tell me what your process was in seeking them out as your publisher. How long did that feedback come? How long did it take to get them as your publisher? And what was that like? What was that process like?
Oh, it was a while ago now. I mean, I had queries out to a whole bunch of different small presses, and they responded relatively quickly. I think I sent my query in, and got a request for the full back, I think within a couple of weeks. And then I think I got the offer like, I want to say like 3 weeks after that. I could be wrong though. But it was pretty fast, which is good, because as anyone who has gone through the query process knows, the waiting is just agony.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So did they then go through the editing process and all of that? What was that like working with a publisher, since this was your first time with a traditional publisher?
Yeah. So the first step was, going over the contract, and they were really great about answering questions about that, and addressing any concerns. And then we had a production meeting where, they pretty much laid out what their game plan was. That we would go through developmental editing, line editing, copy editing. They said that we were going to do the cover reveal, now. In fact, I think they even said September 2021, and here we are, right on schedule. So that's great.
Here we are.
Yeah. So far, I've completed the developmental edits. I think we went to 2 or 3 rounds on that, and it was really great going back into the book, both with fresh eyes, because I had let it sit for several months while I was querying it and then working things out with Parliament House, and so seeing it both with fresh eyes and having the editors thoughts, comments, suggestions has just, like, I was pretty pleased with my book before, but now I'm like so excited about it.
That's awesome.
I think it's so much better.
So speaking of cover reveal,
yeah,
It's time to show
There it
cover. Yes. Okay. So this is a beautiful cover. Now we only have a picture because the book is not out yet. There we go. There we go. So can you explain what we're looking at here?
So, we are looking at, I think, a pretty cool picture of our Magissa, our witchling there, Chrysa. I was really happy with that image because I don't know, for some reason I'm not a huge fan of like fully illustrated people on covers. So I was really happy with that image because it's a, you know, more silhouette-y line, sort of, you know, a little bit more abstract.
Yeah.
But I think still captures like a bit of the darkness and some of the vulnerability. So I was really happy with that. And the colors I think are very evocative of Greece. I don't know if you can see it on there, but there's some moon phase art there at the
right
bottom.
Here.
Yeah. The magic in the book is very much moon and earth nature oriented.
Love it. I think it's very beautiful. It's very romantic. It's, I don't know, just the colors. I cannot wait to see it on an actual book.
Me too.
You know, colors and stuff don't print well on paper, but when you get it on a book and glossiness, it just kind of pops. So I'm very excited. I will show a picture of that as well right here. All right. So thank you so much for sharing your information about your newest book. I cannot wait to actually see it. So I'm hoping that people will be able to pre-order that at some point.
Yes, the publisher is going to provide a pre-order link closer to the date of the cover reveal. Okay,
so I don't have it today, but if I have it before this video posts, the cover reveal is actually September 16th. So that's when this video posts. So if you're watching this, the link to pre-order should be down below in the description. If it is not, as soon as I have it, it will be down below in the description of this video. Is there anything else we should know about the book?
No, I mean, I think we pretty much covered it all. I am super duper excited about it. If you are thinking though that Greek YA fantasy means you're getting, you know, ancient gods and goddesses, you know, Greek mythology, that's not this. Which is actually I think my favorite part about it. Greek folklore is, you know, influenced by but separate from classical mythology. And I think it's something that hasn't really been seen before in the YA world, or like I think pretty much anywhere outside of Greece. So that's probably not true. I'm sure other people have talked about it in America, but I don't think in the YA fantasy sphere. So I'm pretty excited about that.
No, I am excited for you, and I'm excited for our viewers, and hopefully they will all be able to pick up a copy soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being on.